So you know why I stopped you?
Yeah, you just said it.
You're speeding 15 miles over the limit. Well, I'm not going to give you a ticket today.
Oh, wow.
Here's your registration.
Oh my God. Y'all just scared the hell out of me. Oh my God.
I want to give you a turkey for Thanksgiving.
The goal of the initiative is to educate drivers and get people to slow down on the road while also creating a positive interaction with law enforcement.
We are so happy to bless them with a turkey.
Miami Gardens Police have done this for a few years now. Chief Noel Pratt says it's more important than ever to give back to the community they work in.
It's also important for the public to understand that we're human and that we do have a heart behind this badge. And we'd like to give back to the community in many, many ways. So you know why I stopped you?
Yeah.
So they're rewarding people for speeding. You get rewarded for speeding. Everyone have a beverage of choice. They reward you for speeding in Miami Gardens. They give you a turkey. Seems like the opposite. Like they should probably pull people over who aren't speeding and be like, "Hey, you weren't speeding or nothing. You weren't breaking any laws. We noticed you were doing what you're supposed to do. So here's a turkey. Have a nice day." Wouldn't that be more appropriate than pulling people over who are breaking the law and going, "Hey, listen, we're going to let you off and we're going to give you a fucking turkey"? Anyway, I don't know. You can see it's going to be one of them nights. G Sharkman's here. What's up? Smiling. Renee Collins is here. Smiling. Catherine K. Yay. Jim on a Sunday night. That's right. Jim on a Sunday night. Lynn GB. What's up? GMB. How you doing? SB Farmer's here. Jonathan Marcus is here. What the F's here. Linda's here. Hello, y'all. Everyone have a nice evening as we do. Miss Hacker's here. That's right. And, hi, Jim and Jim Somniacs. That's right. And says hello to everyone. Boom, boom, boom. Here's Iowa Backyard Cam says, great evening. Yes, it is. We'll see. We'll see how good it is. Dan, what's up? The other Gagax says, hi, Jim. How you doing? Nice to see you. And None Your Business is here also. Woodtick Mike is here. What's up, buddy? How you doing? And Anonymous Dodo says, hi, all. I can't stay too long. Got to work tomorrow morning. We'll listen to rest on the train. Have a good night. Thank you for being here. Please remember to hit the like on your way in or out. It's always nice to hit the like. It's like wiping your feet when you walk into someone's house. Really appreciate it. You would think so, Jim. I would think so, you know. Hey, Pat, what's up? Cannibalistic Wizard is here and does a pug dance. Cool. Anyway. Yes, right. So, yeah, please remember to hit the like and subscribe if you haven't already. You know, hit that like button. You know, hit like and scribe, and all that stuff. And let's get into some news. It's a little bit late show tonight. I apologize for 11 o'clock start. I had a long day and a long nap. So I had a bunch of stuff to do, and I had to take care of that before I could start the show. But so everyone knows, yes. Yay, Kelly's here too. Says I made it on time. Yes, and just so everyone knows, yes, Bella is here. She's at her normal spot. She's just chilling there, just chilling out, just chillicanating. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh, I do have it reversed. I gotta fix that. Gotta go like this. There she is. There she is. There's the Bella. Yeah. So there she is, just chilling. Anyway, so she's here, hanging out. Ads. I wonder if they're profiling those drivers. Well, they're speeding. I mean, let me do the ads. Sorry, people. Forgot about that. I will take care of it. I think I said it's one of them evenings. All right. They should be off now. Well, get out of town. What are you doing to me? Ready? Mm-hmm. Audra's here. What's up, Audra? What's up, everybody? Hey, y'all. Mm-hmm. Let's see. I'm gonna put a poll in the chat. Should they give turkeys to speeders or law-abiding citizens? Why wouldn't it let me get rid of yes and no? Oh. Well, that's why. You know what? Fuck it. I can't even get it to work. I can't even get it to make a friggin' poll. That's pathetic. Ads are off. What's up? Audra, hey, how you doing? Hello, everyone. Beautiful day. Yeah. So I got this other one here that I wanted to watch because it's I want to get your opinion on this one too. I saw this. It says a barber in Minneapolis is going viral after refusing service to a Muslim following weeks of harassment from Muslim tenants in a nearby apartment building. So this guy's been getting harassed by the people and stuff, and then he just told, get out of here, whatever. So let's see. Do you guys agree with this? Is this right? Anyway, oops. I didn't share this tab. See? Look at that. I got to share the tab. Yes, I see this is a barber Minneapolis.
You don't do Muslims?
No,
Why you don't do Muslims?
because of your attitude. You suck.
We suck?
You do.
I do.
Because you come to this country and don't behave yourself. You get the hell out of here now.
How do you?
or I'll call the police.
You don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't
Well,
touch
then
me.
get out of here.
Don't touch me.
Don't touch me. He's fucking 10 feet away from you. What are you talking about?
So you're saying you're not doing Muslims?
No.
So they purposely, I think they purposely did this. They purposely harassed him and I went in there to record the video.
Because
You need to behave yourself. And then
how do you know if I behave?
Don't.
How do you know?
Get the hell out of here now.
You sick. You sick.
Get.
You sick.
Get.
You don't do Muslims.
No, it's what do you guys think about that? What do we think? I think they're going to try to go after this guy, I bet, and ruin his business. He's probably going to get arrested. They're going to say it's a hate crime. They're going to fine him and say denied service to people because of their religion or something, instead of say, no, you guys don't behave. I don't want to deal with you. I don't know. Probably going to get in trouble. I'm sure they're going to go after him. Probably going to put him in jail. What is his business? It's a, yeah, they started the video after she was misbehaving. He's a barber. He cuts hair. So I didn't know. I mean, like, I don't know any people of color that get their hair cut by white people. I don't know of anyone. I've never heard of such a thing. Just saying, especially an old white man, that don't make no sense. He's not gonna do your fade right. He's not gonna get it right. Come on. Let's be for reals. Frills. No frills. I don't know. Should I button my shirt, top button like that? Or leave that button on? I don't know. Can't tell. Anyway, so I don't know. I saw that video and I was like, I don't know. I think they're going to go after this guy. I mean, he should have just said, no, we're closed, get out. He shouldn't have done all stuff. I think he's going to, because he thinks it's America and he can say what he wants, but he's going to find out, especially in Minnesota, Somaliapolis. He's going to have a problem. I got this story to talk about today, which I saw, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. It says Calvin Duncan's unlikely journey, convict to his honoree to elected official. Hey, Fran VT, what's up? What's up, Ken Phillips? How you doing? Nice to see you. Fran VT, how you doing? Great. Yeah. Mr. Duncan was elected clerk of the criminal courts in New Orleans on Saturday, ousting an incumbent who claimed Mr. Duncan had never been cleared of his murder that sent him to prison. Right, I mean, we saw the murderer that got elected to the city council in Maine, and then another one, and now we got this. Let's see. He was once seen as a long shot candidate. Calvin Duncan started out as a young man serving a life sentence for murder. He developed a passion for law and became known inside and outside of Louisiana State Penitentiary as a gifted jailhouse lawyer, with other inmates as his clients. After 28 years behind bars, murder, schmurder, that's what I say. He won his freedom, cleared his name, and at the age of 60, graduated from law school. This came as an even more improbable twist. On Saturday, voters in New Orleans elected Mr. Duncan to serve as the clerk of the parish criminal court. Hey, Trumpinator, great to see you, everybody. Defeating an incumbent from a prominent political family, according to the preliminary results. The post doesn't usually attract much attention. The job is a bureaucratic and technical, overseeing the ever-expanding trove of records and evidence from court cases in New Orleans, but Mr. Duncan aimed his campaign at persuading voters that the work is vital to the pursuit of justice. Yes. Clerk of court is an elected office. Yes, it is. In almost every state it is, in places, counties. Because they're the ones who are in charge of issuing, like, marriage licenses. They have to stamp all the court papers. Well, yeah, it's elected office. Not like people that work as clerks in there. The clerk of the courts doesn't actually do the stuff. They're the boss of the whole office. It's kind of like, any update on Nate. As far as I know, the latest thing I saw, I'll pull it up. The latest thing I saw is that he didn't have surgery or anything yet. Let me pull it up. This is the update. Nate the lawyer won't be having surgery tomorrow. It's fine with I'm fine with this. Getting the best people involved and take the time necessary. And civil goes, no surgery yet. Surgery is now scheduled in a couple days. I understand the situation correctly. We have basically moved from emergency to urgent, and so they are getting a better specialist or something. Nate is still stuck in the hospital. So, is that the same as the county clerk? Yeah, I think so. It's the county clerk, clerk of the courts. That's the same thing. It's the county clerk of the courts. So it's the same thing. Yeah, and then probably on a free scholarship. Yeah. So that's the story. Let's see. And then I think on Civil actually posted a picture of him with Nate. Yeah, here we go. So here's Nate the lawyer took this selfie and wanted me to be in it and posted. This is by far the strangest selfie I've ever been part of. Nate is doing fine. Surgery's delayed, but all is well. So yeah, so here's Kurt went to see Nate in the hospital. That was nice of him. It's a good friendly thing to do, you know. No problem. I like Nate. Nate posted a short of himself waiting to be taken to surgery this morning. Yeah, that got canceled, I guess. What they're saying that because whatever I don't know. It didn't really explain it. Maybe there's other stuff going on. He has a brain tumor, and he's in the hospital getting surgery. You're supposed to get surgery tomorrow, I guess. Now it's scheduled. So, yeah. This guy argued his experience as a lawyer and advocate, also as someone whose freedom hinged on access to his court records, made him ideally suited to modernize an office that has relied on outdated methods. So yes, so this guy who spent over 30 years in prison is going to update he's an expert on the internet now and how digital stuff works, I guess, even though he was in jail and only could use paper and stuff. So tonight is a dream that's been 40 years in the making, Mr. Duncan said. I hope that all the people who died in prison because we couldn't get their records are looking down now. I hope they're proud of me. We never stop fighting for each other's rights, and I will never stop fighting for yours. Mr. Duncan's, after the brain transplant, Nate'll be 100% MAGA. I mean, people who always say that he's, talk shit can't say it anymore because it's proof. If you can't have a brain tumor removed if you don't have a brain. You gotta have a brain. Mr. Duncan's bid for office was seen as a long shot. It was catapulted to credibility late in the race after the incumbent claimed Mr. Duncan had never really been exonerated of the 1981 crime that had led to his incarceration and publicly asserted that Mr. Duncan had ties to a cold-blooded murder. I mean, this guy's exonerated. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if he did it or not. I haven't looked into the case, but from what I've seen, what they're explaining is what happened was over 30 years later, they proved some cops had a tendency to lie about stuff or something, or like were proven liars or something. So it was just like, I think it's a technicality. They're like, well, we can't be sure that they didn't lie about you. So we're just going to let you out and say you didn't do it after 30 years. So who knows? I mean, if he did it or not. I mean, he was found guilty at a trial and a judge later said, okay, we'll let you go. Implication struck a nerve in a city that's one of the nation's highest rates of known wrongful convictions. And I think they also have the highest rate of unsolved murders, if I'm not mistaken. I think they have like 85 to 90% of their murders go unsolved in New Orleans. So there's that. Instead of being overshadowed by the mayoral and city council contest, the race for criminal court clerk this year became one of the most closely watched in the city. Nate is a good guy, yes he is. At the outset, Lombard was the first selected in 2021, seemed likely to win a second term without much trouble in the first round of voting. Lombard had a modest lead during early voting, but the tide of the race shifted rapidly. By the final tally, Duncan had edged past Lombard. The two men advanced to the runoff, and Lombard was endorsed by Helena Moreno, the popular incoming mayor, who topped a crowded field in the election last month. And it says the city's newspaper backed him as well. Even so, Duncan managed to considerably widen his lead in the runoff, finishing with 68% of the vote, according to preliminary results. Hey, Sunshine's here. Says, hey, Jim, everyone, hope you're having a good night tonight. We are. New Orleans is a good place to get away with murder. Yeah, it is. It is. Really is. And there's also some kind of weird rule they have about the murder too. Like they have some kind of weird thing where if they don't get a witness to come and testify, like if they don't get a witness or something within a certain amount of time, they drop the case. Like even if they have evidence, like they got to get a witness or something. It's some kind of weird stuff. I'm not anyway, but okay. Mr. Duncan, for the result was a culmination of a journey that began. He's now 62. Was convicted of shooting a 23-year-old man to death during a robbery in 1981. The state penitentiary known as Angola, Mr. Duncan maintained his innocence and began studying the law, first as a way to help his appeal, and then later as an all-consuming passion. He worked with countless other inmates, poring over records. That's not how you spell poring over records. And court decisions to find flaws in their cases that can give them grounds for appeal. It's Pouring. That's Pouring is the pores on your face. And he contributed to cases that reached the U.S. Supreme Court. Really? He contributed to cases that reached the U.S. Supreme Court? Really? Along the way, he developed an understanding of criminal procedure so intricate that credentialed experts said his knowledge rivaled their own. Oh, so he's like the Hidden Figures ladies that got us to the moon. Those efforts required him to connect with court clerks across Louisiana to track down records. In many parts of the state, he said, the records were available online or were at least easily retrievable, but in New Orleans, searching for records was a deeply frustrating chase that often ended in disappointment. 15 over the speed limit is almost reckless. Yeah, generally, in most states, 15 over is considered reckless driving, or like a higher thing. I think it's over 100. If you're going over 100, no matter what, it's reckless, and more than double is reckless always. Most places. The efforts required him to... in his campaign for clerk, he promised to speed up the process of digitizing the records. Duncan secured his freedom in 2011 when the Innocent Project, later known as Innocent Justice Louisiana, found evidence that poked holes in the prosecution's case against him. So they poked holes in the prosecution case against him. They didn't find evidence that proved he was innocent. They didn't have like DNA evidence that proves it wasn't him or anything like that. They found evidence that poked holes in that, which the evidence is they found out that a cop lied at some other time. I don't know. Just saying. And prosecutors agreed to vacate the murder if he pled guilty to a lesser charge, which he did. So he pled guilty to a lesser charge. They vacated the murder. A decade later, a judge found Duncan to be factually innocent, and the plea was expunged from his record. Why did the judge do that? Last month, Lombard publicly cited a letter that Louisiana's Republican Attorney General Liz Murrill wrote to Mr. Duncan in September, arguing that because Mr. Duncan had pleaded guilty to a lesser charges, it was a gross misrepresentation to claim he had been exonerated. He pled guilty. Still, Mr. Duncan met the standards set by the National Registry of Exonerations. Well, who runs the National Registry of Exonerations? Oh, an independent clearinghouse maintained by scholars. So these leftists that are all behind all this trying to get everybody out of prison, that defund the police people, the people that say, prison should be, abolish prisons, those people, they're the ones who run the clearinghouse. More than 160 lawyers and legal experts signed a letter, a public statement contending that Mr. Duncan did indeed qualify as exonerated under any reasonable definition of the term. Well, their definition. Well, no, he pled guilty. You can't plead guilty if you maintain your innocence. That would have to be like an Alford plea or something, which that's not what it was. You have to say you're pleading guilty, and it has to be like you admit you're guilty. That's the whole thing. You you can't deny you're guilty and plead guilty. They can't accept a guilty plea from somebody who says they're innocent. They can't, unless it's like an Alford plea where it's like a weird thing where it's like, well, we're gonna do this thing, and still, Mr. Duncan met the standard. Okay. The facts in the law and procedural history are clear. So that's what they say. So, and the AP says that a New Orleans man who had his murder conviction tossed wins election as city's chief record keeper. Yeah. The Innocent Project started with good intentions, but now they're corrupt as fuck. Yeah. Completely corrupt. New Orleans, and especially, you get a lot of things where lawyers will be sleeping with clients and trying to get them out. And anyway, so the man spent 3 decades in prison. He won with 68% of the vote. That sounds like a lot, especially when it was a 1-point race before. Seems weird. Yeah. Thank you for the privilege. His opponent, a Democrat, claimed during televised debates that he was guilty of the crime. So did the Attorney General. So it says he won 47% of the vote, and the other guy won 46. So it was 47-46. And he got the other person got 67%. Yeah, it's weird. Like, where did all these votes come from? Something going on there. I want to congratulate Duncan, Lumbert said, and you're going to transition him to an office. Oh, no, it is 70% black, Jim, and 90% of them, half of them are felons. And that's all the time. In 2020, Duncan's legal advocacy drove the U.S. Supreme Court to end the non-unanimous jury convictions in Louisiana and Oregon, the only two states still allowed to practice rooted in the Jim Crow era. I don't think that's where those were rooted in. I mean, those things were in place long before Jim Crow. Those rules about non-unanimous jury convictions, they were way beyond that. And was Oregon a slave state? Does that make any sense? Oregon was not a slave state. See how they lie? See how they fucking lie? Like, oh, it's a practice rooted in the Jim Crow era. Oregon. Huh. Yeah, Oregon, that huge slave state, Oregon. So they still use paper files, and they don't want paper files. They want it to be all digital, so they can't be mistakenly discarded. So this guy, I don't know, what's his name again? Because I tried to find it and I didn't. I should have looked better. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just wait till they invent the delete key. Yeah. Like digital records can't mysteriously democare. Yeah, Jim Crow's channel is Jim Slept There. Okay. Jim Crow once slept in Portland. Oh. Well, so I asked, what evidence was used to exonerate him? And it says exoneration came after decades of legal struggles, highlighting in several critical concerns in his case that ultimately led to the recognition of his innocence. Key witnesses in Duncan's trial were unsure about her identification of him as a shooter. Her description did not fit Duncan's physical appearance. This uncertainty was crucial in questioning the integrity of the original testimony. What? She testified that it was him. And it said, his trial defense was severely compromised. His appointed lawyers failed to adequately prepare, only meeting when briefly before the trial. They did not access critical police reports, which could have helped challenge the witness's testimony during trial. So after his conviction, the Innocent Project conducted extensive public records requests uncovering inconsistencies in the police investigation. These discrepancies pointed to flaws in the original case. I mean, I'm not saying he's guilty or innocent. I'm just saying it's like when this stuff like this happens, they just come up with these things like, oh, well, the witness wasn't sure about the identification prior to the trial, and then later it's like, wait, what? 30 years later, people change their story, and it's like, we let people out after someone changes their story? Really? I don't know. I mean, I guess. I mean, if he was innocent, then I didn't want him in there all along, and that's the thing. It's kind of messed up, but it's weird that because it makes me go, what's going on here? A judge vacated his murder conviction based on new evidence demonstrating factual innocence. This involved revealing the police testimony during the original trial had been false. So the new evidence 40 years later was somehow that the police testified to something that was false. So there was no evidence that exonerated him. It was just like, in 2011, he accepted a plea deal for manslaughter, which later he claimed was coerced and necessary to secure his release. So they recognized him as exonerated. These elements all contributed to his eventual exoneration and systemic failures. Okay. What was false about the police testimony? Huh. Oh, here's misleading. Now it's misleading police testimony during the trial. Here's the primary inaccuracies that emerged. Eyewitness account. Police testimony suggested the witness had positively identified Duncan as the shooter, even when her certainty was questionable. In reality, the witness had expressed doubts about her identification, contradicting the assertion made by law enforcement. What did she say at trial? Some police reports included statements and details that were inconsistent or fabricated. This undermined the reliability of the entire investigation and raised questions about the officer's motive and practices. So, I mean, the problem with this is that, 40 years later, somebody said, I didn't tell the cops that. Why did they say that at the trial? What happened at the trial? What did those witnesses say at the trial? Because the cops aren't allowed to testify to hearsay what someone says. That person would have had to come in and testify to it. Failure to mention exculpatory evidence. Certain details or evidence that could have cleared Duncan were omitted from the police testimony, including inconsistencies in witness statements. So it's the same thing. They're just circular repeating that. The police didn't say that there was inconsistency, so that could have cleared him. Misrepresentation of the crime scene. Police testimony inaccurately described conditions at the crime scene. For example, the handling of physical evidence may have been misrepresented. I don't know. I mean, I'm not convinced the guy's innocent. I don't see anything here like, oh, they had a piece of evidence that they destroyed. They did something here. So there was indications that police may have exerted pressure on the eyewitness to stick with her identification of Duncan. What's that evidence? Thus contaminating the integrity of her statements. What evidence and that's why you got to keep asking these questions with this like this, because the way they word the answers, it's like a circular thing. And allegation of coercion emerge from various factors that indicate improper practices. The witness initially had uncertainty. Her subsequent firm identification contradicted earlier statements. What proof do they have that she was uncertain in her initial identification? I mean, seriously, what? lack of independent. There was no independent corroboration of the witness's identification. What would be in the, so they needed, so I guess it's like Sharia, they need two witnesses. A woman, they can't take the woman's word, they need a second witness, and a woman's word's not good enough. Oh, so see, advocacy groups like Innocent Project highlighted the witness's later statements expressing discomfort about how she was treated during police investigation. I think they might have let a murderer out. That's my opinion. I think they let a murderer out, and he's now the clerk of the court. It's just a bunch of horse shit. That's what I think. I don't see anything here. Nate the lawyer has a brain tumor. Yes. You haven't missed anything important. Nate's surgery was postponed until tomorrow. Oh, so during the hearings leading to his exoneration, the judge remarked on the unreliable nature of witnesses' testimony. Oh. Yeah, I think they put a convicted murderer on the bench. That's what I think, on the court, clerk of the court. So, ABC News says man who had his murder conviction tossed wins election as city's chief record keeper. So, yeah, they put a murderer on there. So. All right, on to the next story. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth announces a 21st strike on narco terrorists trying to kill Americans. Hey, Michelle, what's up? Nice to see you. Nice to see you too, Mr. Parker, if I didn't say it already. There are now at least 80 people killed from these strikes. The U.S. military is defending the American hemisphere. Let's see.
Today in the Eastern Pacific, Southcom says 3 men in that boat were killed. It comes as the Navy's largest aircraft carrier, the USS Gerald R. Ford, has arrived in the Caribbean. Madeline Rivera is outside the White House with more. Madeline.
Hey, John. Well, there are now at least 80 people killed from these boat strikes. And according to U.S. Southern Command, they say that this vessel was being operated by a designated terrorist organization and that intelligence confirmed that the vessel was involved in illicit narcotics smuggling, transiting along with a narco trafficking route. So this comes, as you said, with the USS Gerald Ford, the world's largest aircraft carrier. It is now in the Caribbean. And this is joining the military buildup that has gathered in the region. The administration says the U.S. operation, formerly named Southern Spear, aims to remove narco terrorists, but there has been bipartisan concern.
Today in the Eastern Pacific.
Oh, bipartisan concern. Yeah, that would be Rand Paul and a bunch of Democrats are concerned that the terrorists are getting killed. This is November 15th, at the direction of the Secretary of War, Joint Task Force Southern Spear conducted a lethal kinetic strike on a vessel operated by a designated terrorist organization. Intelligence confirmed the vessel was involved in illicit narcotic smuggling, translating along a narco terror trafficking route, carrying narcotics. 3 male narco terrorists aboard the vessel were killed. These vessels was trafficking narcotics in the Eastern Pacific and was struck in international waters. They arrested a kingpin in Spain. Oh, cool. Good. Lucky you made it tonight. Damn, football games almost gave you a heart attack. Oh, Scotty tell you? Oh, okay. I'm certain we've infiltrated the gangs there. Okay, cool. What? I'm confused. So we saw that. And then, cocaine shark coming this fall. U.S. forces kill 3 narco terrorists in the Eastern Pacific. Lethal strike operation targeting drug networks. Who won? Wessel. Oh, yeah, Scotty. Okay, now I get it. Yes, that's what I was doing, Scotty from Mr. Scott. But actually, it's wasn't Mr. Scott. It's actually it was the other guy, Chekhov, that said Wessel. It wasn't Mr. Scott. It was Chekhov. It said, "Come aboard the Wessel." It's Chekhov, not Scotty. Chekhov. Mr. Chekhov. U.S. forces carried out lethal strikes Saturday on a narco-terror vessel operating in a designated terrorist organization in the Eastern Pacific, killing 3 suspects, narco-terrorists in international waters, according to U.S. Southern Command. The strike brings the total number of suspected narco-terrorists killed to 82, with 3 survivors, in an ongoing U.S. campaign targeting drug smuggling vessels tied to the designated terrorist groups. A post on X, the U.S. Southern Command said intelligence confirmed the vessel hit in Thursday's strike was smuggling narcotics along a known trafficking route. Command described the strike as a lethal kinetic operation conducted in international waters as part of a broader effort to disrupt transnational criminal networks. Secretary Hedseth on Thursday announced the official launch of Operation Southern Spear, a new mission targeting narco-terror networks across Latin America. Come to think of it, the dude locally with a huge brain tumor removed was a corporate lawyer. Hegseth said that the Task Force Southern Spear will lead a mission to defend the homeland and dismantle narco-terrorists across the Western Hemisphere. The mission defends our homeland, removes narco-terrorists from our hemisphere, and secures our homeland from drugs that are killing our people. The U.S. carried out its 20th strike on boats last week, killing 4 narco-terrorists, according to Pentagon officials. Coast Guard seized cocaine along with suspected narco-terrorists in Pacific Viper raid. We might look at that in a second. Since early September, strikes across the Pacific have destroyed dozens of vessels, many tied to Venezuela's Tren de Aragua and Colombia's Ejecto de Liberación Nacional. The campaign began September 2nd with a strike to kill 11 members of Tren de Aragua and continued through October and November with a series of targeted operations that eliminated dozens more across known trafficking routes. China moves into Venezuela's Maduro regime, gets Beijing lifeline amid U.S. tensions. So China's going to move in. Maybe. U.S. forces have hit submersibles, fishing boats, high-speed vessels, including one ELN-affiliated craft that drew criticism from Colombia's president after 3 men were killed. Several strikes took place near Venezuela's coast, while others occurred in the eastern Pacific, where most recent operations have been concentrated. The Navy previously announced it would lead Operation Southern Spear under the U.S. 4th Fleet and Southern Command, employing a long-dwell robotic surface vessels, small robotic interceptor boats, and VTOL and vertical takeoff and landing robotic air vessels. Oh, you've never seen this shirt before? I've worn this shirt before, I think. At least once. I've got a closet full of shirts, so I try not to wear the same one within like 2 weeks. I try to spread them out, you know. So what's this other one here? Why not look? I want to come back to that because I want to look at this one and I want to look at this story too about the Viper raid. It says U.S. military announces latest strike on alleged drug boat in the Southern Pacific. But there's this video here. I want to rewind and hear what they're saying.
In Caracas, Venezuelans took to the streets in a state-organized rally in support of their authoritarian leader, Nicolas Maduro.
State-organized
who's
rally.
prepping his country for a possible American invasion. But Maduro also seemed to extend an olive branch to avoid a war with the U.S., saying in English he wants peace.
The love and peace. The peace and love.
El enemigo no es Colombia.
In neighboring Colombia, President Gustavo Petro cut intelligence ties with the U.S., protesting lethal military strikes on boats allegedly carrying narcotics. I met Mr. Petro at the presidential palace in Bogota for his first interview since making that controversial move.
No pasamos la información.
We don't pass along the information because then we'd be complicit with a crime against humanity.
Do you believe that the ships that have been attacked by the United States were carrying drugs?
Puede que sí, puede que no, no lo sabemos.
Maybe, maybe not. We don't know. But according to due process, the civilized treatment of people, they should be seized and detained.
What's the due
President
process
Petro
in Colombia
was also
exactly?
critical of the U.S. sending thousands of troops and an aircraft carrier to the region.
What is your reaction to this massive U.S. military?
How do they know the boats are carrying drugs? Well, Kevin, you can see the drugs on the boat. Let me rewind it for you because you want to. Let's go. Oh, here we go. Right there. You see the drugs in the boat? You see all these giant white bales of drugs in the boat? That's how they know. Because you can see the drugs with your eyes. That's how they know. Dude process. Yeah, he knows they're there. He doesn't need to know we do. Yeah, he's part of it. He's a fucking part of. He's getting paid from the cartel. He's a fucking another drug dealer. Him, Amaduro. That's who they took over those countries. The drug dealers. You know, they did what Pablo Escobar only dreamed of doing. Pablo Escobar tried to run for Congress of Colombia, and now they just own the presidency. Would they really store drugs like that? They're transporting them on the boat. They just pile them on there. They're not hiding them. They're taking them, you know. Well, yeah, he wants peace. If war comes, then 2 AC-130s loaded with Rapid Dragon missile system would annihilate their whole military. Sure, it would be good. They would know if the boats were carrying drugs, if they're surveilling the whole operation. Maybe the bosses are in cahoots with intelligence because their intelligence is crooked. Yeah, he knows. He's playing games. He's playing games. He's the guy who threatened to murder Trump. He said he was going to get rid of Trump. He's going to kill him. That's what he said. So, intelligence confirmed the vessel was involved. I saw the drugs. I don't, you know. They carried out his 20th strike. The strikes have generated controversy in Congress as Democrats and some Republicans, one Republican, not some Republicans, one Republican, a guy by the name of Rand Paul. That's it. The Senate rejected a resolution. Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. And Lisa Murkowski and Rand Paul. So two. I guess that's some. Anyway. Same thing from CNN. Then we got this. We got this where Trump says that the suspected drug boats, stopping them doesn't work. You can't just stop them and arrest them, and it doesn't work. That's what Trump says, all right? And then he's going to say on the Venezuelan boats, why haven't the Coast Guard just stopped them? And because we've been doing that for 30 years, and it's been totally ineffective, and they have world-class speedboats, but they're not faster than missiles. It makes sense to me, right?
President, on Venezuelan boats, I want to ask you, why not have the Coast Guard stop them, which it is empowered by law to do? You know, this way you can confirm who's on the boat and ensure that they're doing what you suspect.
Because we've been doing that for 30 years, and it has been totally ineffective. They have faster boats. Some of these boats are seriously, I mean, they're world-class speedboats, but they're not faster than missiles. But we've been trying to do that for years, and so much of the drugs, 25-30%, would come in through the seas. Right now,
President, on Venezuelan boats.
Whoa, look at this. We got our first donation of the evening from Mr. Richard Parker. It says, put a $50 bet on a 7-game parlay last Wednesday. New England won Thursday easily. Early this morning after 4.5 hours sleep, Miami over Washington in a squeaker. Well, that's awesome. Did you win the whole parlay? Because parlays, that's a $50 bet on a 7-game parlay. That pay off pretty good, I would think, for you. That would be if you win the whole parlay, that would be good. I think wouldn't that be a couple, several hundred, maybe thousands of dollars? I don't know. Parlays are the things where you do like a parlay and parlay together. But thank you very much. Oh, and look at that. And with that, then we go to our. We are now $70 away from the goal type thingy. And 45 away from Bellavision. Wrong question. I don't know. No wonder I love Trump. Me too. Thanks, Richard. Thank you so much. Also, the Coasties don't have the same way to destroy boats the way the Navy does. Yeah. Coasties don't have the firepower to actually do anything. But thank you so much, Richard, for that $5. And for whatever reason, YouTube is still all screwed up. Trying to get the goals to work. And I don't know. Can't get nothing to work right on anything. Yes. Since Trump says stopping the boats doesn't work, but U.S. reports record cocaine seizures. Oh. So, I mean, don't they realize that it's been like the cartels let them get seizures? They let them get seizures so that way they'll get these seizures here, and then they'll get 1,000 kilos here, and then they bring in 10,000 kilos over here or something like that. In justifying the military strikes, President Trump has asserted that the long-time strategy of interdicting the vessels at sea has been a major failure. We've been doing it for 30 years. It's been ineffective. Trump's comments came around the same time the Coast Guard announced it set a record for cocaine seizures, a haul of 225 metric tons. Mm-hmm. Tell YouTube that you want goals to work and you want to be able to just on the fly. I've been complaining, and it has not. They haven't done nothing. However, it has not dissuaded the Republican president. So they seized 225 metric tons. Wow. And can you still buy cocaine on every street corner in Chicago and New York, L.A.? Yes. So it hasn't done anything. Under Trump, the U.S. military has blown up 20 boats, resulting in 80 deaths in the Pacific and the Caribbean Sea. Trump and other top officials contend that such boats are being operated by narco-terrorists and cartel owners with deadly drugs bound for America, which is the truth. The strikes have generated international pushback from foreign leaders, people that are tied to the cartels and get money from, right? Human rights groups, whatever. And Democrats and 2 Republicans have raised concern. That's up 2. You put 2 in there. The United States is engaging in extrajudicial killing. No, it's not. It's a war. It's a war on drugs. We don't need to arrest people for waging war. They're waging an unconventional chemical warfare on our country. Get it? Good. Mm-hmm. Veterans of the drug war, meanwhile, say the resources would be better spent doubling down. Oh, yeah, so the people that get paid to do this, that been fighting the drug to get the overtime and do all this stuff, they said, no, double down. Give us more overtime. Give us more money. Let us go and stop more people and screw around. Traditional approach, especially in the long term, is because the crews of the drug pros frequently have valuable intelligence that can help authorities better target cartels and trafficking networks. Dead men, they say, tell no tales. But you know what else dead men don't do? Dead men don't transport more drugs in. And it's as these people stop coming home and they start getting blown up, and other people go, wait, these boats are getting blown up? Maybe we don't want to do this anymore if the boats, keep getting blown up. It's not the cost of the cocaine. It's not the cost of the boats that are the major problem for the cartel. It's the people to actually drive the boats. Once word gets out that, yeah, they're just blowing up the boats. They're not going to arrest you. You're not going to get arrested and go to prison. You're going to get blown up. The Coast Guard has fought the drug war for a long time and lost. The Coast Guard for decades has interdicted vessels and, smuggling, and much of that work is focused on halting shipments. Have they ever halted any shipments? No, they've stopped some, a little bit. Worst enemy ever, the cartels or the Dems? I don't know. The DEA and the State Department and the Department of Justice is Southern Command that aims to inflict heavy losses and limit the amount of drugs that enter the U.S. Yeah, all these years with one avenue stops, they always find another way to get it here. That's right. But like I was saying, though, if they're worried about getting blowed up, it might not be that easy to find people to just bring it here. I don't know. Yeah, aren't they working together? Yeah, they're working together. Personally, I think it's cinematic, but the deterrence is real, so carry on. Yeah. The campaign, by at least one measure, has never been more successful. Despite constant complaints by the Coast Guard, it lacks the funding to seize even more drugs. Oh, so they made one record seizure that was 40% higher than the past decade's annual average. So it was the largest amount confiscated in a single Coast Guard ship during a deployment. So they got lucky, and they who knows? I mean, plus they don't even know. Like they could be the interdiction of continued as part of what's known as Operation Pacific Viper. In almost every case, smugglers have been brought to the U.S. for prosecution, and valuable information about their ever-changing smuggling routes and production methods was collected. Experts say each missile is likely to cost far more than the payload of cocaine on every ship. Oh. Well, you can't put a price on all the American lives that are saved by every ship that blows up. That's all I'll say. Coast Guard has extraordinary powers and authorities to do effective drug interdiction without killing unidentified people on small boats. Bunch of leftist gobbledygook, bunch of commie propaganda here. When resourced, they are far more effective. Trump officials say that the strategy needed to change. Marco Rubio this week defended the switch in strategy, saying that the interdictions alone are not effective. Interdictions have limited to no deterrent effect. These drug organizations, they've always baked in the fact that they're going to lose 5% of their drug shipments. It doesn't stop them from coming. Yeah. Operation Pacific Payola. Yeah, it's very true. Part of the problem is the demand for cocaine is high. The supplies have never been so robust. And a sign of that trend is cocaine prices have been hovering at historic lows for more than a decade. The Coast Guard also does not have enough vessels or crew to halt it all. At most, it seizes about not even 10% of the cocaine the officials believe flows to the U.S. on small vessels through the known as the transit zone. Cocaine shipments bound for the U.S. primarily work their way up the west coast of South America to Central America and then overland into the U.S. via Mexico. Shipments heading to Europe are smuggled through the Caribbean, often hidden in container ships. Such interdiction efforts target cocaine, not fentanyl. In social media posts, Trump claimed that these strikes have blown up boats carrying fentanyl, and each destroyed vessel saved 25,000 American lives. According to an expert and former U.S. counter-narcotics officials, Trump's statements are either exaggerations or false. Well, how would they're former guys, so they don't know. They say they constantly change everything, so maybe they change. Maybe they're bringing fentanyl in on boats. I mean, what the fuck? For the past decade, officials have sounded the alarm about the rising overdose deaths. I don't think the officials have been sounding the alarm. The fucking people. The people have been sounding the alarm about the people dying. Overdose deaths peaked in 2023 from opioids, from fentanyl and heroin. Experts have attributed the decline mostly to the Biden administration efforts to boost the availability of life-saving drugs that prevent overdose deaths. Oh, yeah. Fentanyl, on the other hand, is typically trafficked to the U.S. overland from Mexico, where it's produced from chemical. The Associated Press visited the region in Venezuela from which some of the suspected boats had departed and identified 4 men who were killed. In dozens of interviews, residents in the region and relatives say the dead men were mostly laborers and fishermen making $500 a trip. If you are driving a boat loaded with drugs, you are a trafficker. It's like saying, the guy that was the getaway driver, the border is closed. Yeah. Border is closed. Cocaine is not fentanyl. Fentanyl is made in Mexico. Mexico has been shutting down fentanyl labs and trafficking. Not hard to set up labs in Venezuela and transport them to Puerto Rico, where they're now in the U.S. Yeah. I'm saying they're hardly kingpins, says Kendra McSweeney, Ohio State University geographer. So a geographer has been studying drug policies. Fuck you. In April, months before they launched this campaign, they traveled to South Florida to welcome home the Coast Guard cutter James. In its latest patrol, it seized 20 tons of cocaine. Okay. And did that change anything? That's the thing. They said, okay, we're seizing all these things, and it's not even a drop in the bucket. We have to do something else. They said, this is not a drop in the bucket. Bondi, you're such a fucking retard. Behind you is billions of dollars of pure uncut cocaine. Well, that's a lie, because it said it was 500 million, not billions of dollars. The fuck are you talking about? Man. Bondi's got to go. She's an idiot. And then we got this retard Murphy saying, Murphy calls Trump's strikes on the Venezuelan drug boats wildly illegal. Are those drug boats need due process inside the United States? They're not on U.S. land, so they're not. I mean, what are we talking about here? They don't have any rights. They don't. They're engaged in irregular warfare, chemical warfare.
Chris Murphy of Connecticut. Senator Murphy, thank you for being here. Before we get to the shutdown and all those related issues, on Epstein, the president is...
On Epstein, fuck you. Chris Murphy said President Trump's military campaign was wildly illegal. Okay. Well, it seems pretty clear it's just an effort to distract people from the rising prices and from the Epstein scandal. No one wants a war with Venezuela to the extent that they're claiming that it has something to do with the drug trade coming to the United States. The majority of drugs don't come through the Caribbean. They come via a land route. Not anymore. Not anymore, they don't, because the border is shut down. They are not drug dealers. They're unlicensed pharmacists. Oh, maybe. And, well, Richard with another 5 says 10 o'clock games. Houston over Tennessee. Green Bay over Giants. Pittsburgh over Cincy. All nail biters. That left me 5 down and 2 to go. 1 o'clock games were San Francisco and Arizona easy. Well, what did you, you don't have to tell me, but thank you. What did you end up winning on the parlay? Was it like several hundred, or I hope you did good. So that's 65 away from the first additional hour and 40 away from Bellavision. Oh, and Joe's here. Says, "Hey Jim, sorry, I'm a football addict. I'm here for a bit. I didn't know there was football games at midnight. Is there football at midnight? I didn't think so. Oh, you're saying you were watching football, it just got over. Okay, now I understand. All right. Thank you very much, Richard. You're the best." So, yeah, so they closed down the border, so they're bringing it in somewhere else. This is just, Democrats, we need to draw firm moral lines in the sand to constrain his growing illegality. Oh, okay. All right. And here's Trump talking about Maduro and stuff like that. And it says their entire prison population was released to the U.S. by the Biden administration. The single worst thing they did was allow 20 to 25 million people pour in.
So in the case of Venezuela, it's the prison population. Their almost entire prison population was released into the United States. You know what that means? Their prison population was released into the United States, and we're getting it out. We're doing an amazing job. We have a strong border now. We have everything. Our country's doing so well. But what the Biden administration did to our country should never be forgotten. And the single worst thing they did is allow 20 or 25 million people to pour into our country. People from prisons, drug dealers, mental institutions, bad people, gang members, to allow that to happen to the United States, totally unchecked and unvetted, should never be forgotten. So in the case of Venezuela, it's about the prison population.
That's nuts, man. The prison population. Yeah, the actual prison population, whatever. In a massive move, Secretary Rubio is designating Nicolas Maduro's Cartel de las Solas as a foreign terrorist organization. Maduro is cooked. Rubio, headed by the illegitimate Nicolas Maduro, the group has corrupted the institutions of government in Venezuela and is responsible for terrorist violence conducted by and with other designated FTOs, as well as for trafficking drugs. The USS Gerald Ford has recently arrived in Caribbean. The pressure on Venezuela is palpable. Hey, Rod, what's up, Rodney? How you doing? Nice to see you tonight. Oxymoron. It's an act of war. Yes. Data Pope says, watch closely across Europe. Antifa is moving toward the designation as a terrorist organization, while in Central and South America, the cartel of the sun faces the same. These are not isolated developments. Globalist networks, the Soros and the UN, and authoritarian regimes, Venezuela, Iran, and China, are ideological enemies on paper, but both share a common goal: undermining American sovereignty. They draw on the same infrastructure, the same street-level operatives, and the same channels of disruption. Trump administration is assembling evidence of a multinational structure of foreign governments and actors linked together in ways that are undeniable. Once they have fully mapped the connections and Venezuela is contained, the final step will be striking at the heads of the Hydra with RICO, Soros, and the foundations. Ooh, I hope so. Boy, I hope so. Boy, oh boy, I hope so. Mm-hmm. You guys real Twitter raised the price for premium. They doubled the price for premium plus from $229 a year to $490 a year. Are they fucking high? How do they figure that X is worth $50 a month? What the fuck is wrong with you? That's fucking insane. $490 a year for Twitter? Are you fucking high? It says China moves into Venezuela as Maduro's regime gets Beijing lifeline amid U.S. tensions. It really looks like China is going to completely take over the Venezuelan economy. That's insane. The mainstream media can afford it. That's what it is. It's for them. No, but the thing is, you can't live stream to X unless you pay their premium fee. That's what it is. So they're basically, if you want to stream to X, you have to pay them that money. I don't get it. I really don't. Okay, let's see. So we got General Keane. Let's see what he has to say about the narco terrorists. Guess there's going to be a fight.
If someone
the Trump administration's position on our narco-terrorist campaign in the Caribbean, it is going to continue. And the president has made it very clear he's not going to allow terrorists to bring illegal drugs that kill American citizens into our great country.
Caroline Levitt, just a short time ago, and that as the world's largest aircraft carrier, the USS Gerald Ford, now in waters near Latin America as the U.S. ramps up its war on narco-terrorists. Venezuela ordering a massive military mobilization and drills, saying that it is determined to defend this homeland. That's a quote, to the death. The United States saying that it has launched 19 strikes on suspected drug boats in the past 2 months, killing 76 people. With that, we bring in retired four-star General Jack Keane, former Army Vice Chief of Staff, now chairman of the Institute for the Study of War, and Fox News' senior strategic analyst. General, it's always good to have you with us. Thank you very much for joining me. Maduro spoke to his people, saying that if we must go to armed struggle to defend this sacred heritage, we must be ready to win. So where is all of this headed, General?
Well, certainly bringing the Gerald R. Ford to the table obviously is, in my mind, even as an Army officer, I will say there's nothing more that represents America's military superiority than an aircraft carrier. That is it. And I think that's a lot what this is about. It's demonstrating clearly to Maduro and those surrounding him the military might of the United States, that we've already essentially knocked out the sea transportation and distributing narco trafficking along those routes. And we're obviously threatening to do much the same on the land, and also the implications that we would take down the regime physically using military power. I think all of that is sort of all at play, and we're trying to send that message. Why? My view is I think we're trying to put pressure on those that are propping up the regime, the elites, the strong men around Maduro who have political influence, and make them think through the question: do we really want to continue to support this guy when he's bringing all of this down on us? And for our viewers to understand, what makes Maduro so troubling to the United States, not certainly what he's done to his own people, which has been pretty horrific every day he's been in power, but the fact that he and the cartels are one. And distributing these drugs to the United States is obviously impacting the safety and health of the American people. That's why we're there. Not because he's a bad guy to his people, although we certainly don't like that, but because it's affecting the American people. I do believe that this is more of a pressure campaign. Now, we could use some of this capability that's there to go after some sites on the land, something short of an invasion, obviously, to take down things that mattered to the narco traffickers, their laboratories, their storage sites, some of their hubs. There's a whole litany of targets there that would be certainly available to them. But those who think that the United States is going to go to war and invade this country, certainly that's an option. And I'm certain that people have taken President Trump down the line in terms of assessing what that option is and the risk associated with it. But certainly doing something like that, we have a lot of experience with. And you own everything after it. That's the challenge of something like that. I think they want an internal change of regime change here, pressured by the United States, but not something short of an invasion.
Yeah, it seems like prior presidents have also felt that Maduro's days were numbered. He is like a cockroach. I mean, he's tough to get out of there. That is for sure. It also struck me when I saw a story earlier this week, General, about China's new aircraft carrier, which is a very large aircraft carrier as well. It's their third new one. And I thought, when you see this show of force of our aircraft carrier as China is building up its Navy in a significant way as well, it not only sends a message to Venezuela, but to China as well.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I just got back from the Pacific region. And listen, we've said it before, China has outpaced us in just about every category in the region: ships, airplanes, offensive, defensive missiles, everything except submarines.
China's killing us. China's getting us.
We've got to deploy more capabilities.
Yeah, we got to deploy more capability. So, let's see here. Okay, so it says 108 watching and only 58 likes. Yeah, come on, hit the like button. It says X makes premium make sense if you make the back on monetization. It's almost impossible. I don't know. I've never been able to make anything more than a couple dollars. That was it, on there. But I don't know. It's just nuts. I don't get it. Miami has the worst coach in the top 25. Elon is going to price people out of the platform. Yes, he is. We're paying $500 a year for our sports channel. Between that and StreamYard, we lose money. Yeah, I've never made. I mean, all honestly, I've never I've outlaid way more money than I've ever made. I've yet to make any profit on streaming. I mean, the money you guys give is great, but I mean, it's not covering what I've outlaid already for different things. Like StreamYard is like $890 a year. The equipment, computer, stuff like that. The internet costs, all the different things, services for the news stuff. I haven't yet got past what I've spent. That's all I'm saying. It's you could always post shorts to X to try to feed the channel. I do post shorts to X. It doesn't do much. Besides cocaine being bad for you, all their membranes straight up. The coke addict in life doesn't do that. And just the thought, meth is a chemical. Why not treat it as chemical weapons? They could. Oh, what's this? Another. Okay, I didn't see it. Slow down, Jim. Dick's going to tell you. Now I was sitting 6 down with 1 to go. Last pick was Baltimore over Cleveland. That one almost took me out. $50 paid $3.95. Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you very much. And with that, now we are just 60 away from additional hour and $35 away from Bellavision. That's awesome. The Hurricanes, well, I've seen Bama fan myself start a little bit whatever there. I didn't see any fishing gear in that photo. Violence is good. That's awesome. Yes, it is. What's a spring-loaded chat phenomenon? Won't let you get to the bottom of the chat. Maybe it's a connectivity thing. I don't know. Happy Sunday. Hey, Neurodivergent One, what's up? Great to see you. Make sure you hit the like, follow, smash, share, do all that good stuff. It's great. Howdy, y'all. Another week lurking while working. Lurking while you're working. Yeah, please have a great day. That's awesome. Alien News Shorts pay nothing, be it X or Twitter. About 3 cents per 1,000 views. Yeah, it's brutal. It's brutal. And I've been having I've been having such weird luck with shorts too. Like I post the same shorts on TikTok and on YouTube. And the wildest thing happens, the shorts that are fine on YouTube that are all approved to monetize, I get strikes on TikTok for. And then the shorts that are fine on TikTok and fine and whatever, I get a community guidelines notification or demonetized on YouTube. I can't win. I don't know. We'll fight the undeclared war. Yeah. Hit that repost to spread the word. Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you don't have $10 for Rumble, I'm not going to test all those debate looters. Yeah. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Have you tried Rumble Studio? Allows multi-stream at no cost. I've tried to do I've tried to do Rumble Studios. It's too I mean I don't know. I don't know. I think it's because X sub includes Grok. It does includes the super Grok, but then like I had a problem because I was using Grok and I was asking to do stuff, and all of a sudden it goes, "Oh, you've used your allotted number of questions for the hour on Grok." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, I'm like, I still haven't heard back because I'm like, I pay for this. I'm not supposed to have any limit. It says with my subscription, I have unlimited access to Grok. Like, what are you doing? So who knows? Algorithms suck. Yeah. Google has instructions to ignore smarty pants in the chat. All right. Well. And so U.S. defense officials confirmed to Reuters last month that an aircraft carrier strike group was entered to Southern Command and that the U.S. Gerald Ford was carrying more than 4,000 soldiers and technical aircraft. Oh, look at there's Chinese guy with that guy. Into this standoff, Beijing unveiled a zero tariff agreement with Caracas. I have limited Grok use, but I'm cheap and have the free version. Really looks like China's going to completely take over Venezuela's economy, says Gordon Chang. It's going to decimate Venezuela's local industry. Venezuela basically sells petroleum to China and very little else. China, of course, is a manufacturer of many, many items. Venezuelan manufacturing is not going to experience a renaissance anytime soon. It's going to go in the opposite direction. Yes, holy crap. X went from $30 to $80 last year, and I didn't even notice. Yes. And now it just went insane. I just got the notification that it went from $200 for the premium plus or whatever to $490. Like, dude. Aircraft carriers always carry between 4,000 and 5,000 people. Yeah. Yeah, but I think there's two amphibious ready groups. There are two amphibious ready ships that have like 3,000 to 4,000 Marines on each one, if I'm not mistaken. Something like that. Oh. Mm-hmm. Chang added that Maduro's sudden embrace of Beijing stems from fear Trump's next move. Maduro probably doesn't have a choice. He realizes he's got a problem, and there's a U.S. aircraft carrier not that far from his shores, a lot of military assets bearing down on him, and he's a friend, and he's desperate. For Maduro, a zero tariff pact may offer temporary relief, but it only deepens dependence. I don't see this trade deal as strengthening Venezuela. I see it strengthening China's stranglehold on Venezuela. Richard says, I lived in Broward County for 10 years. We called drug boats, go fast boats, easy to spot, long, skinny boats, 3 to 4 large motors on the back. Yep. 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 And Square Grouper. We gave up on the TikTok quick, not worth the headache. It seems like it. It seems like it's nothing but a headache. Like, they're so left. Like, if you're not, like, I don't get it. I don't know how anybody posts on TikTok. I really don't. I really don't. I mean, I've been hit for numerous things. Like, you say anything negative about China, they strike you. You say anything negative about Russia, they strike you. You say anything negative about anything on the left, they strike you. From Beijing's perspective, a tariff-free pact opens a commercial and strategic doorway. Council on Foreign Relations estimates that China has extended around $60 billion in loans to Venezuela over the past 2 decades, much of it repaid through oil shipments. China has leveraged multi-billion-dollar loans and the establishment of satellite positioning and surveillance facilities to secure strategic control over Venezuela's natural resources and critical infrastructure. Medina was referring to the El Sombrero satellite ground station in Venezuela's Caracal province, a joint China-Venezuela project that Western analysts, including a recent Associated Press report, describe as part of a wider space cooperation network giving Beijing an intelligence foothold in Latin America. That's what they did. Yeah. Like Cubans call them cigarette boats. They said a new pact must be understood as one layer in a wider inter-Western alliance under the banner of so-called 21st century socialism, initiated by Hugo Chavez and expanded by Nicolas Maduro. The nation has evolved into a forward operating base for regimes hostile to the United States and its allies. Stay hostile. They hostiles. They hostilios. Okay. And I saw this story. Oh, look, one subscription, two worlds. What are you trying to do to me here? Trump buys. This Trump ad blocker. Are you fucking serious? Trump buys at least $82 million in bonds since August, show disclosures. Nice dog. U.S. President Trump bought $82 million in corporate and municipal bonds from late August to early October, including new investments in sectors benefiting from his policies. Financial disclosures made public on Saturday showed. According to the forms released by Government Ethics, Trump carried out more than 175 financial purchases from August to October. The disclosures made under the 1978 transparency law called Ethics in Government Act do not list exact amounts for each purchase, only providing a broad range. The maximum total value of the bond purchases exceeded $337 million, according to filings. Most of the assets listed in the disclosure consist of bonds issued by municipalities, states, counties, school districts, and other entities with ties to public agencies. Trump's new bond investments span several industries, including sectors that have already benefited or are benefiting from his administration's policy changes, such as financial deregulation. Yeah. Wow, Yawn, billionaire conducts many transactions throughout the year, News at 11. He's buying bonds, like municipal bonds, corporate bonds. What? That's not like stock market options, things like that. They're going to make massive moves. That's just like steady, protect your money moves. Corporate bonds acquired by Trump include offerings from chip makers such as Broadcom and Qualcomm, tech companies such as Meta, retailers like Home Depot and CVS, and Wall Street banks as Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley. Purchases of the debt of investment banks in late August include bonds of J.P. Morgan. On Friday, Trump asked the Justice Department to investigate J.P. Morgan over its ties to the late financier and convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Bonds have tax advantages. Yeah. Aren't we all benefiting from his policies? Yeah. Trump also acquired Intel bonds after the U.S. government, under Trump's direction, acquired a stake in the company. Did they acquire a stake in the company, or did they just say they wanted to? The White House did not immediately respond to a request for comment. The administration has said before that Trump has continued to file mandatory disclosures about his investments, but that neither he nor his family has a role in running the portfolio, which is managed by a third-party financial institution. Okay, so it's not even him, it's somebody else. Trump became wealthy in real estate sector before entering politics. He previously said he placed his companies into a trust overseen by his children. Disclosure filed in August indicated Trump had purchased more than $100 million in bonds since returning to the presidency. Trump also submitted his annual disclosure form in June, which indicated that income from various ventures still ultimately goes to him. Where would if it's his business and he's just letting somebody else run it? Why wouldn't the money go to him? Where else would it go? Are we fucking communists? We're to give it, they're going to seize the means of production and give it to someone else? What are they talking about? The disclosure, which appeared to cover 2024 calendar year, Trump reported more than $600 million in income from cryptocurrencies, golf properties, licensing, and other ventures, showed Trump's push into crypto had added substantially to his wealth. Overall, the president's June disclosure reported assets worth at least $1.6 billion. Yeah, Trump has someone else making investments for him. Yeah. It says, Joe says, update, Jim. I received an email a few hours back. They are finalizing Fed pay for DOW, but it will be in installments. Not bitching after getting denied unemployment. Any pay is good. What do you mean installment? Oh, so they're not going to give it to you all the 2 months all at once. They're going to pay you like every week or something like that? Or Yeah, no questions about Pelosi, but they will hassle over normal business transactions. Yeah. And this is from Bloomberg. Trump buys another $82 million in corporate municipal bonds. Trump reported no sales. The senior White House official says that the independent financial managers made the bond purchases using programs that replicate recognized indexes when making investments. So we purchased municipal bonds after that. They are not going to clear on the intervals, but something is coming this week. Yay me. Well, that's awesome. Congratulations. Glad to hear it. Oh, it's a very interesting story here. Representative Brad Sherman from California denies that he was looking at pornography on the plane and says it was Twitter. These pictures came on For You thing on Twitter. Mm-hmm. This is what he was looking at. All right, that's what he was looking at. That's what he was looking at. For you feed recommended based on the type of content you find engaging. He couldn't even lie properly. His PR time is going to have a hard time now. Yeah, checks out. He's degenerate enough to sell his soul to terrorist colony. He's degenerate enough to watch porn. This guy says Brad Sherman got caught watching Prawn on a plane and somehow blamed Elon Musk. Brother, your algorithm didn't open that tab for you. Your finger did. Own your gooning.
Elon Musk, I mean, you really should do a better job at protecting congressmen who won't accept responsibility for their gooning. Brad. Elon Musk, I mean, you really should do a better job.
Yeah. There's this guy says Brad Sherman exposes the in-flight for you problem.
Brad Sherman's in-flight for you problem. California Congressman, a Democrat, Brad Sherman, is defending himself after being photographed on a commercial flight staring open-mouthed at images of scantily clad women on his iPad. According to Metro and other outlets, the 71-year-old Democrat says he wasn't watching porn, just scrolling the For You tab on X, formerly known as Twitter. He told Punchbowl News that the images came up via the algorithm and added, not sure this is the quote he really wanted to see everywhere, but he added, if I see a picture of a woman, might I look at it longer than a sunset? Yeah. Okay. The photos went viral with one user asking why a member of Congress thought it was appropriate to look at that content on a plane, a public plane, wasn't a private charter. White House Communications Director Stephen Chung piled on.
Yeah, Stephen Chung piled on. What's it say? It's a huge problem on Twitter. Yeah, there is straight up porn on Twitter. There is. And I didn't think it was supposed to be, but there is. And then these damn rhinos keep getting into my garden. Got to do something about them. Is this church lady? No. Not even nude? No. No, there's straight up porn on Twitter. It's popped up and I've said, what the fuck is this? Like legit porn, like real porn, like full on XXX porn on Twitter.
Calling Sherman a total gooner, slang for an explicit content addict. Sherman insists the content wasn't pornography, but admits it was not appropriate. And this isn't the first time a lawmaker's screen habits have caused a storm. In 2022, British Member of Parliament Neil Parish resigned after getting caught watching.
Yeah, he's a masochist. He doesn't even use dark mode. That's crazy. And look, no, Snarf, I don't care. I don't give a shit. I looked at porn. Whatever. It is what it is. There's nothing wrong with it. But for a congressman to be on a plane doing it is funny. And he got caught. And he's going to try to weasel his way. Instead of just saying, yeah, I was. So what? Leave me alone. Whatever. Says, I'm not complaining. I haven't seen any deposits or withdrawals from my account or whatever. So it is welcome. Only withdrawals is welcome. Definitely.
Porn in the House of Commons. Okay, so what's the real message here? If you're a politician, a CEO, someone in the spotlight, realize that if you're in public anywhere, people are watching what you're looking at on your screen. So you want to look at porn, you got to go home and close the door. That's the bottom line. Okay, I don't want to make too big a deal out of this because I don't care who you are. You could be someone who does nothing but search for an intellectual, scholarly treatise on third world economics from the 1950s.
Okay, so that's that. Here's the story. Congressman Sherman denies he was intentionally looking at porn. Have these old men learned nothing from Jeffrey Toobin, right? People should keep their eyes on their own screen. Well, they have security screens now. They have security. You put it. Get it for your phone. If anyone's like to the side, they can't see what's on your screen. It's like a tinted thing, and it's unable to be seen. And someone is breaking into my house right now. They're coming in the door. Porn is legal. He's an adult. Why the cover up? Who gives a shit? Yeah, I don't get it. They don't watch what I look at. I use my Oculus on flights. Polarizer. Yeah, they have. It's like a thing. It's like it's pretty cheap too. It's like get it. It's like a screen protector, but it's a privacy screen protector. So if you just turn the phone slightly or off to the side at all, you can't see what's on the screen. Uh-oh. This is AI, Jim. Watch his lips, and the photo was a woman holding a baby. Get in life. I don't. What? What's going on? Is that the kid or Bella possessed? It's my grandson, I believe. Thank you so much for the $5. I'm just talking about the story. You know? Love wins. That's right. Love wins. It does. Love wins. Thank you. Love wins. Thank you for the $5, Dick. And with that, we are 30 away from Bellavision and 55 away from an extra hour. Thank you very much. I should probably go see. I think you could take him. Maybe for the person breaking in. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go see what he needs. Try if I find a video. He's back again. Hold on. Stop feeding the rings. It's a BS story. We'll see. Hold on a second. Sorry. Really. Ooh. Sorry about that. Smoke them if you got them. Yeah. Not rings, rhinos. No. Well, this is Sherman. He's a Democrat. So, thanks, Richard, for the thing. He can't open the door. Do you take EBT bucks? No. Free Bella. Okay. It was free Bella for a while. Are we going to ignore that someone is in the closet? That's not a closet. That's the door to get into the room. Bella is not amused. It can be a strain. My son is in a station in Frankfurt. Oh, Bella's moving around. After midnight, that kid should go fast asleep. He was asleep already. He woke up. He wanted some more milk. Dang it, there goes Bella. Yeah, I'm afraid of clowns. Me too. So, this is what it is. So it says he denies he was intentionally looking at porn. He's actually talking about it.
His approval was -8 net approval yesterday, the lowest of this.
Anyway, so he's pushing back against the accusations. Images emerged on X and all this stuff. A caption attached. Why did a California congressman feel it's appropriate to look at porn on his iPad during a flight? So he's getting attacked from it's the Dems attacking him. Okay. All right, let's jump into this next story. Sorry. Oh, banner. No. Remember, hit the like and subscribe to the channel. Please remember to hit the like button. All that. We've been going an hour and a half, so hit the like button. Lord help us, it's not Darth Vader. No, it's my grandson. He was just wanting some milk. He fell asleep early, and I put his milk in the fridge so that it didn't get warm while he was sleeping. He didn't get it himself. So, Kim Jong-un sends troops to Russia to clear deadly minefield for Putin's war. Russian commanders praised the North Korean troops who received training on NATO and Ukrainian explosive devices.
Never changed a tire before? Don't panic.
I just wanted to help people by sharing.
I just want to help you by sharing my stuff. That's why I went on YouTube to do videos about tying ties and stuff. What? Put millions of people just to hear it. There you go. Sounds good. Crick crock.
Today, Russia's President Vladimir Putin is set to visit North Korea. Yup, North Korea. 2-day visit this week to meet with Kim Jong-un amid international concerns about their military cooperation that already made a massive impact against Ukraine. Meanwhile, a new report shows China expanding its nuclear arsenal 22% in 2023 with no signs of slowing down. The fleet of Russian ships pulled out of Havana Airport yesterday after a 5-day stay 105 miles off the coast of Florida. And Sweden and Finland reporting that Russian aircraft entered into their airspace twice last week. Here to react is Arkansas Senator Tom Cotton. We got the Axis powers reconfiguring themselves, cooperating, trying to rattle our cages. Is it
Axis powers? What the fuck is he talking about, the Axis powers?
Well, Brian, unfortunately, our adversaries around the world see weakness in the American president, Joe Biden.
Okay, that's how old is that? New released. What the fuck is good? North Korean soldiers. New images released by Russia's defense ministry showed North Korean troops clearing mines in the war-ravaged Kursk region in western Russia. The latest sign of deepening military cooperation between Moscow and Pyongyang. Russian soldiers are seen handling detection equipment, receiving instructions from Russian engineers, and singing patriotic songs before beginning their work. A Russian commander with a call sign Veles said, they're great lads. They learn quickly. They call them lads. That's not my job, man. Not my job, man. Axis of evil? Okay, maybe Axis of evil. I didn't think Russia was part of the Axis of evil that he labeled. That was North Korea, and that was Iran and someone else. The terrorists or something. I don't know. Another commander, Lesnik, said the North Koreans were operating on an equal level with my sappers, carrying out the same tasks as my guys. Russia says the North Korean deployment follows last year's fighting that helped repel a major Ukrainian incursion into western Kursk. South Korean, Ukrainian, and Western sources told Reuters that the North Koreans sent about 14,000 troops under a mutual defense pact that has more than 6,000 were killed. Battlefield casualty numbers could not be independently verified. North Korea has sent troops to Russia, Pentagon confirms. Russian Defense Minister Channel Zvezda claims that the new demining unit was created and sent to the Kursk region by the order of the Commander-in-Chief Kim Jong-un. And the channel said North Korean engineers arrived in the Kursk region already experienced in carrying out missions in their homeland, and they received extensive additional training by the engineering troop of the Russian armed forces. The image released by the Defense Ministry, Kim Jong-un's sappers begin each operation by venerating the North Korean flag, describing it as a sign of their readiness to carry out any order of the supreme leader. The Russian Defense Ministry claims Russian instructors taught them to handle the latest NATO and Ukrainian mines. This is old news. This was published fucking today, man. Look. It's published today. See? November 15th, 2025. Yesterday, 2 days ago. It's not old news. I don't you know. Under Mutual Defense Pact, 14,000. Yeah, I mean, this is, I don't know. Nothing Burger, their neighbors. Oh, okay. And this is from Reuters. Russia says North Korean troops played key role in demining its Kursk region. I mean, all right, never mind. Oh, yeah. And Marjorie Taylor Greene is further proving that she's a fucking retard. Because now she said she went on to, what is this? Where'd she go on? MSNBC or CNN and says that I'm sorry for taking part in toxic politics and that she's committed and that she wants to put down the knives and she really wants people to be kind to each other and, you know, that she thinks that the right has become really toxic, especially President Trump. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Congresswoman, you posted on X that President Trump is, with his comments, fueling a, quote, hotbed of threats against you. Obviously, any threats to your safety are completely unacceptable. But we have seen these kinds of attacks or criticism from the president at other people. It's not new. And with respect, I haven't heard you speak out about it until it was directed at you.
Oh.
Dana, I think that's fair criticism. And I would like to say humbly, I'm sorry for taking part in the toxic politics. It's very bad for our country.
Trump is bad for... So this is the woman who claims she's MAGA and all this stuff, and Trump is bad for our country. She's a fucking Democrat. She's a fucking Democrat. She supports illegal aliens. She wants them here in the country to work for her. What is going on? Oh. Says, oh my God, my MTG needs to get her hormones checked. She could be entering her first cycle of menopause. There's something going on with her.
Something I've thought about a lot, especially since Charlie Kirk was assassinated, is that I'm only responsible for myself and my own words and actions. And I am committed, and I've been working on this a lot lately, to put down the knives in politics. I really just want to see people be kind to one another, and we need to figure out a new path forward that is focused on the American people, because as Americans, no matter what side of the aisle we're on, we have far more in common than we have differences. Yeah. And we need to be able to respect each other with our disagreements.
So just to put a button on this, you regret the things that you have said and posted in the past, the Facebook post that...
Yeah, so... Let's just say so. Jerry says that they might have been intimate. Seems like the D took the D away. No, she's just, I don't know. She's just, I don't know, a wackadoo, man. She's a fucking nut job. She's always been a nut job, really. kind of gave her a pass before, but not anymore. And then Azullian says, to be fair, Trump has been a fucking retard lately too. Yeah, he said some stupid shit too about the H-1B visas and the stuff, and I don't, whatever. And what people are missing in the story of the DPRK and PLA troops in Ukraine, it helps pad out the troop numbers so Russia can concentrate elsewhere. This gives those countries combat experiences they need. Yeah, well, I was told it was old news not to talk about it. So sick of performative Republicans. She's right there with Massey and Paul as less than worthless. Yeah. Someone needs to call out MTG about hiding the Jesuit sausage and watching her fly off on a broomstick. She's sweating that her husband's construction company will get an ice raid. It's possible. MTG was either a fraud from the start or she's that horrible person you work with that's all drama. One of these few edges, we maintain a strong NCO and junior officer corps that helps erode that edge. Yeah. I'm just saying she's showing the signs. Yeah. Hot flashes.
Was taken down of you in 2020 holding a gun alongside the squad, encouraging people to go on the offense against the socialists, liking a tweet of somebody calling for the execution of Nancy Pelosi and former President Obama. Just examples.
Well, Dana, as you know, and many people know, I addressed that back in 2021. And of course, I never want to cause any harm or anything bad for anyone. So that was addressed back then, and I very much stand by my words I said then, and I stand by my words today. I think America needs to come together and end all the toxic, dangerous rhetoric and divide. And I'm leading the way with my own example, and I hope that President Trump can do the same.
Oh. I hope she made enough money because she's not going to be a congresswoman for long. There is no fucking way she doesn't get primaried. Yeah. She must be looking to get a primary challenge. Oh, she's going to get primaried. Guaranteed. Hey, what's up, Duck Fat? How you doing? Great to see you. So she's bitching out. Yep. She went on The View. She's doing all this stuff, and Richard says the Korean soldiers aren't getting experience. None of them make it home. Marjorie Taylor Greene, humbly, I'm sorry for taking my part in the hot toxic politics. So yeah, so we're not gonna. We watched it. We're not gonna read that. Is there any at all? Nothing. No fucking commentary. Something up her sleeve. There's some, or she's got something they're going to come after her for, and so she's trying to get out ahead of it. Trump needs to sleep at least 8 hours once a week. I can tell when he's tired. He gets great ideas like 50-year mortgages. And it says Trump's weekend at Mar-a-Lago included golf and an ugly break with Marjorie Taylor Greene. The party's aspiration to appeal to America's working class voters has clashed with Trump's camaraderie with the billionaire class, the gilding of the White House, and the lavishness of Mar-a-Lago. Oh, these fucking people, I swear. 100% she will be. Her and Massey are two with the most small donors in the party. Not anymore. He called former ally Marjorie Taylor Greene a traitor and a disgrace and a lightweight, but remained silent this weekend on two issues that led to a toxic rupture with the Georgia congressperson, the affordability crisis and Jeffrey Epstein scandal. Oh, seriously? Whatever. Oh, well, whatever. Marjorie Taylor Greene insists she still supports Trump while repeatedly slamming him in bonkers interview after Epstein fight. Yeah. Massey comment about Republicans today was uncalled for. Disagreements need to be had behind closed doors. He called Republicans pedophile defenders. Yeah. Insisted Sunday that she still supports the president while simultaneously questioning his MAGA bona fides in a madcap interview. While making overtures to end her red-hot feud, she repeatedly slammed the president, accusing him of not being focused on the U.S. and not putting Americans first. And I support them in delivering the campaign promises. His remarks have been hurtful. Oh, his remarks have been hurtful. Oh, you're fucking calling him, basically accusing him of protecting Epstein, all the stuff with Epstein, and you don't think he's going to tell you to go fuck yourself? Recent months, she seems to soured on him. There's a complete. On Friday, Trump went nuclear on her, yanking his endorsement and accusing her of going far left. According to Trump, I don't know if it's true, but according to Trump, she wanted to run for governor or Senate in Georgia, and they looked at the polling and said, yeah, you ain't got a shot. Stay out of it. You're just going to fuck it up for someone else. It's all come down to the Epstein files, she said when asked about why her and Trump in front. I stand with these women, and I stand with rape victims. I stand with the children who are in terrible situations. Here's a question. Maybe someone can answer this for me. Well, she wanted to run for governor or senator of Georgia, but that ain't happening. Why haven't any of these women, these victims, come forward to say who fucking hurt them? Name names. They keep saying, we need these files. We need to know who the predators were. They've got the fucking victims. Only one of the victims is dead. The one, Gouffre. There's hundreds of other ones that they supposedly have. Name the fucking names. Someone say who the fuck they are. If you were abused, say who did it to you. Not all this bullshit that looks like it's just political horseshit. Because that's what I'm starting to think. Because we want the files released. We're victims. Who victimized you? Tell us. If you don't know, how the fuck would the FBI know? Yeah. Anyway. I thought I had more on this. I don't know. I thought I had stuff about the New Yorker story is chilling. It says shutting down USAID has already killed 600,000 people. Gundam Zig says they don't want the names. They just want something to generate political drama. I'm fucking done with most humans. Yeah. Where was all this hoopla when Epstein was convicted? Yeah. Oh. That's what I'm saying. They keep stating the women are threatened by the powerful. Who? Name their fucking names. Mm-hmm. That's right. Wouldn't have time to call for the list. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Name names. Poop or get off the pot. That's what I'm saying, man. The victims all got paid and signed NDAs. They'll have to give the money back if they talk. Oh, well, then I guess that's up to them then. So they want it both ways? I don't know. Yeah, so they're saying that 600,000 people were killed, most of them children, because USAID money got cut off. These 95 women asked the judge not to open the files. I didn't realize she was 51, so I'm pretty sure I'm right on track. Some women can't handle menopause well. Sue. For no other reason, Elon Musk's ego, Marco Rubio's complicity, and Republican members of Congress's cult loyalty to Trump. That's so close. The book on his shit already passed a law that says they have to pay the money back. The shutdown has already killed hundreds of thousands of people. How is it our responsibility to feed these people? Hey, Grok, has shutdown killed millions of people? No, shutting down USC hasn't killed millions. Those claims rely on speculative models projecting preventable deaths from halted aid programs without verified causation or accounting for local government roles. Maybe, here's the thing. Maybe there's not supposed to be all those people living in Africa that can't support themselves. Why is it up to the rest of the world to support people who can't support themselves? JP Morgan Chase agreed to a settlement of $290 million in class action brought by the victims. Okay. All right. 600,000. That must be DNC math, or are they doing COVID math? USDA will no longer issue warnings for Listeria, E. coli, and contaminated food warnings. Well, that sucks. Rand Paul is a warlock. Deutsche Bank agreed to pay a $75 million settlement to a similar lawsuit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the biggest slander in the world. It's no freedom of speech if you're calling the president a pedo. That's almost like terrorism because it's hurting America's image. That's messed up. I'm just saying, like, it's kind of messed up. Like, instead of demanding the FBI release the files, why don't you just have the women come and testify on the floor of Congress? If they testify in Congress, I'm pretty sure they're protected by the speech and debate clause. I mean, I know the Congress people is, but I would think if you're testifying to Congress, as long as you're telling the truth, you can't be sued for defamation, right? I don't know. Mm-hmm. The U.S. AID's inefficiencies and waste justified reforms. Yeah. Here's the frickin' New Yorker story. Oh, the USAID shutdown has killed hundreds of thousands. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I spent my last days at USAID in a meeting. So this is somebody who worked for USAID. This is somebody who worked for USAID. That's saying that since the agency got shut down, it was January, my final week in the outgoing administration. In a few days, Trump would be inaugurated. I had come to the United States Agency for International Development in 2022, leading my surgery practice and public health research in Boston to lead the agency's global health efforts. Now I'd be returning to my previous life. I spent my last days at USAID in meetings with our civil and foreign leaders, thanking them for robbing all of us. I want whoever wrote this, I want in jail right now for fucking robbing us. Yeah, the work of partners to combat all these diseases. Really? Well, how many people's lives did you fucking save? How did you cure AIDS? No. Did you cure cancer? No. What did you cure? Not a fucking thing. Shut the fuck up. On a budget of just $24 per American. What? $24 per American, all right? There's 400 million Americans. So that's billions of dollars for their budget to not do shit. Anyway, we had personally pledged to end HIV. Oh, did it work? Fuck you. Within hours, President Trump signed an executive order to pause all foreign assistance. We are now witnessing what the historian Richard Rhodes terms as a public man-made death. Really? So if we don't feed starving people in Africa, we're responsible for their death. That's what it is. If we don't fucking give free food to Africa, we're responsible for their death. Maybe we should stop doing anything for anybody and let them fucking deal with themselves. Look at this. Jerry Sanders gives one gifted Jim Tells You membership, and that Robert Chalk got a gifted membership. Thank you, Jerry. And Robert Chalk should thank Jerry. And that's a huge budget. It is. And then so that puts us at $49 away from an extra hour and $24 away from Bellavision. 40% of Puerto Rico's on Snap. Woohoo! Mm-hmm. Anyway, so that's that story. That's what they're trying to say. Oh, then we got this. We got Cash Patel. Oh, look at this. We got another gifted member from Jay Wills. And this is great because this is Juan Cholo. Juan Cholo received a gifted membership. Juan Cholo. And this is great for Mo Member November. That's right. The month of November, we're pushing for Mo members in November. We want Mo members in November. And I forgot to do the other one, so. Thank you very much. And with that, we are now $43 away from an extra hour and $18 away from Bellavision. $43 away from an extra hour and $18 away from Bellavision. Did I just get Ko-Fi? No, what's Ko-Fi? I don't know what that is. No tax money for USAID. Time for the people to fight for their own country. Fight the warlords. Yes. What is Ko-Fi? I don't know. I don't know what that is, a Tor fan. Oh. Is that coffee thing? I don't have that coffee thing. Like buy a coffee thing. Yeah, I don't have that. You get more of those donations than YouTube? I don't know. What is that? What is Ko-Fi? I don't know what it is. Is there a way to check how many subscribers are members? Yeah, I can look and tell you how many subscribers are members. Let's see. See all members. We have 242 members. 242 members. Oh, man. Get it? It's for super chats. Mike Ben's interview about USD should be a must watch. Well, I have a Tor fan. I have PayPal. I have Cash App. I have Locals. I have Rumble Rants. I have Twitch. I have Kick. I have. It's the number I heard. That's not the news you're reading. It's Dem propaganda. Knock it off. Okay. Yes. If you look in the description, I have Cash App. I have PayPal. I don't know. I don't know what getting something else is going to be. Just one more thing to keep track of. And so Kash Patel hints at major revelations on the J6 pipe bomber is imminent. That's right. Mo member November. I think we're going to see movement on that front very soon. We can't disclose active investigation details. I'll just say stay tuned. Stay tuned. Kash Patel says stay tuned.
And we've been working like we have with the deputy director to unearth that. And as it relates to major investigations of public importance like the pipe bomber, again, I say, stay tuned. We reviewed every single investigation of public consequence, reopened them, reevaluated them because we feel it cannot go untouched. We are not going to let these things lay by and allow the fake news media to run roughshod over us. Our indictments speak powerfully in court. If you don't believe us, just look at the response that the Eastern District of Virginia under Lindsey Halligan did to James Comey, and look at the notes and publication of evidence. That's the type of material we have, but we have to safeguard our prosecutions because the ultimate accountability is with the verdict in a jury room.
Understood.
And we've been working like we have with the deputy.
Okay. Yes. All right. So this says FBI director talks pipe bomber probe. In a rare moment of guarded optimism from the nation's top law enforcement official, Kash Patel signaled Sunday that the Bureau is on the cusp of movement in its investigation into the mysterious pipe bomber who planted devices outside the Republican Democratic National Headquarters on the eve of the January 6th Capitol riot. Speaking on Fox Business Mornings with Maria, Patel urged the public to stay tuned, vowing indictments would soon speak powerful in court while dismissing years of what he called fake news, obfuscation, and under the prior administration. It says, Jim, when you get to 5,000 subs, you need to do a 24-hour stream or a meetup. I did say when I got the 5,000 subs, I would do a 24-hour stream. I did say that. I did say I would. A meetup, I don't know. I mean, maybe we could probably do a meetup at some point in time. Oh, wow. Thank you, Audra. Whoa. Wow, let's see who got those memberships. USMC Canaho 91 got a gift of membership. Just Me got a gift of membership. Lynn GMB got a gift of membership. And Karen Mannings received a gift of membership from Audra. Thank you so much, Audra. Now we have Bella. Yes, now we do have Bella. I have to fix the camera. There she is, Miss Bella, hanging out. And let me see here. And with that, that's 30. So now we are just $13 away. Just $13 away from the first additional hour. Right, just $13 away from the first additional hour. Isn't that special? Mm-hmm. It says Ko-Fi is 0% chat, 5% fee memberships, YouTube 30%, 45%. Do the math yourself. Yeah, but I don't know what Ko-Fi is. I don't know. I mean, that's like another thing I have to get. I mean, I don't know. I'll look into it. Thank you very much, Audra, for the 5 gifted memberships. Thank you very much. And actually, let me look, because I think that's putting us close. We're close. We're getting close to be able to get some more emojis. If we get to what is it? CL members. Go here. Now we're at 247 members. And so if I go to emojis and badges, I think, yeah, I think we need 23 more members to be able to get another emoji. Uh-huh. Yes. Mm-hmm. I'll look into it, a Torah fan. I'll see what it takes. It's just another thing, though. So, the comments come as online speculation explodes over the suspect's potential identity, with independent journalists and former FBI insiders pointing to forensic evidence linking the bomber to a U.S. Capitol police officer and CIA employee, claiming that they have ignited accusations of a federal cover-up that puts Patel's leadership under intense scrutiny. Patel, a staunch ally and Trump loyalist, and former counterterrorism prosecutor, has made restoring integrity in the FBI's cornerstone in a tenure since the helm earlier this year. The interview with his host, Maria Bartiromo, he framed this pipe bomber case as an emblematic of broader investigative lapses in the Biden era as it relates to major investigations of public importance like the pipe bomber. I say stay tuned, Patel stated. We reviewed every single investigative patient of public consequence we feel cannot go untouched, and we're not going to let things like this lie in the fake news media run roughshod over. It says, if it was never opened, give it a try. What do you mean? It's just a tool? It's an alt Patreon? I mean, isn't that Ko-Fi? Isn't that kind of what Locals is? I mean, mm-hmm. 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 Sorry. All right, fine. Where you at? It's all set up. Where's it at? From what I read, every super chat goes into your pocket. Okay. Well, I don't know how you get even notified about it. It's all set up if you go there. Jim tells you, so the suggestion is narrow your audience, not expand it. I don't know what that means. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Oh, Gypsy, what's up? Nice to see you. I hope you feel better. I hope it's not not too much. Uh-huh. Hold on. All right. Sorry, I got sidetracked. Do not recommend what? Food poisoning is the worst. It sucks. Yeah. 2FA. Yeah, for every super chat, 30% goes into their pocket. Okay, I can go on now. Spuds is here. Okay. God, this is taking so long. I feel bad. The bombs, 2 functional pipe bomb devices containing explosive powder and timer and cell phone triggers were discovered on January 5th in the RNC and DNC building in Washington, just hours before the Capitol breach. Oof. What's it say? Ken Burns, American Revolution on PBS, talk about propaganda loyalists were like Republicans of today. Propaganda terror. You have nothing to do with it. Just saw the. I don't know. I know a bunch of people do it. It's like buy me a cup of coffee type of thing. I know. Oh. All right, there you go. All right, let me get back to this news now. And they were functional just hours before the breach, despite a $500,000 reward, thousands of interviews, and reams of surveillance footage showing a hooded figure in a backpack and gray Nike sweatshirt. The case remains unsolved. Yeah, I get 100% of pay. Well, PayPal takes like 3% or something like that, a minor, like a small fee from PayPal. But Cash App, I think I get 100%. And I can recognize that tyrant. His name is Joe Biden. Yeah, PayPal takes like if someone gives $10 on PayPal, I get like $9.47 out of it or something like that. Like, I don't know. It's like a very minor amount they take from PayPal. As far as I know, Cash App doesn't take anything unless I'm gonna. I don't think they take anything from me. I'm not sure. Not that I know of. I don't know. Who's Greg? I wonder how much of history we learned was mostly propaganda. All of it. All of it. And what am I doing here? Churchill, who resided in the D.C. area at the time, was allegedly seen waving a yell to a fellow officer and shared a home with another FBI person of interest. Baker's team, lacking access to classified files, cross-referenced public videos and license plate data and university soccer footage to build the case. Serafin called astronomically improbable to fall if the FBI had pursued him aggressively. Ex-users and podcasts like Alex Jones declared the bombings a false flag. You never heard about this one she's talking about? No, I've heard a bunch of people. It's that like buy me a cup of coffee on Ko-Fi. It's been around for a long time. The victors always write the history books. Did you finish middle school? The FBI has now confirmed a bombing suspect, pointing to the proximity to the protective detail and chilling security lapse. Gino fired back on X on Thursday, blasting Tom Massey for amplifying the claims and insisting the Bureau's renewed efforts, including fresh personal internal audits. Massey, a Patel critic, has demanded all evidence. Why would Massey be a Patel critic? Patel's defenders, including Corey Lewandowski, hailed the director's approach in a recent Benny Johnson interview, saying, Cash Patel's doing an amazing job. I have full faith he's putting the right people in place. And he'll be releasing over 400 pages of documents to the House Judiciary Chairman Jim Jordan, revealing what lawmakers called a shoddy initial probe, including witness statements challenging the bomb's planting timeline and suggestions the devices may have been inert props for diversion. Nanny Goat says, I've seen many other channels using cold feeds. Probably cool. Like a Torah fan said, it's a tool. It's just trying to help Jim generate more income. I appreciate it. I just don't know how many, I guess I could have every one, but watch Lois Lerner's about Obama IRS Tea Party targeting lost emails. I plead the fifth scandal. They were worse defenders, polar opposite spin of what Eckenberg said. Yeah. You remember the old 300? And this says, Pash Patel says the truth about the pipe bomber will surface soon. The identity of individuals responsible for placing the bombs remains ongoing. The FBI has faced scrutiny over lack of public information. Okay. All right. Now we're going to get into the good fun stuff. Acting ICE Director Ted Lyons explains sanctuary policies won't stop ICE from arresting the worst of the worst. And then he raises the question, why do sanctuary jurisdictions hide and harbor violent criminals? And why do they? Why do they do that? Why do they do that?
You know, it really is sad, right? You point out sanctuary jurisdictions. You look at Massachusetts. You look at a city like Boston. You look at New York City, the state of New York. I don't understand when we go to other law enforcement agencies or to elected officials and say, hey, look at our success. Look at the criminal aliens, these violent predators we can take off your street. But they want to hide and harbor these illegal aliens, number one, that aren't supposed to be here in the first place, that have committed heinous crimes. Yet they want to stand beside them. You almost want to say you've lost all hope for those regions, but ICE is going to continue to do our mission. If they don't want to help us, we say thank you, but we're going to go ahead and rid those criminal illegal aliens from those neighborhoods.
Well, and I know the border czar, Tom Homan, has said that other crimes get solved when ICE comes into those communities because they don't have to focus on the worst of the worst. You are doing that part of the job, so that makes entire communities better. I want to bring you back. I thank you so very much on a big breaking news day for the update. Acting ICE Director Todd Lyons, thank you.
Very interesting. Exclusive. Homeless suspect in the murder of a Seattle bus driver revealed to be a Venezuelan illegal immigrant. In 2023, he was arrested on felony homicide charges and the fatal stabbing of his roommate, but was released. My latest collaboration with Chocho. The Biden administration allowed illegal aliens from Venezuela into the U.S. more than any other country, behind Mexico, obviously. It's a safe bet to a coin flip where every violent illegal alien came from in the future. Say Catherine Maher, former CEO of Wikipedia, NPR, during those times of political polarization, truth facts aren't what we're seeking. We're looking for consensus, affirmation of our narratives. That's right. That's what she said. Here we go. Homeless suspect in murder of Seattle bus driver revealed to be a Venezuelan illegal immigrant. And the homeless man accused of fatally stabbing of a King County Metro bus driver, Sean Yim, in Seattle, has been identified by federal immigration authorities as an illegal immigrant from Venezuela. The revelation comes as the suspect, 53-year-old Richard Sitzlak, pleaded not guilty in January to all the charges stemming from the December 18th killing. And Sitzlak is currently being held on $5 million bail. ICE spokesperson confirmed to the Ari Hoppin show that ICE Seattle lodged an immigration detainer in the Regional Justice Center in Kent, Washington, against Richard Sitzlak Bastidas, an illegal alien from... Oh, look at that, how they didn't say his last name was Bastidas. They took it away so you wouldn't know that he was from Venezuela. Illegal alien from Venezuela. The spokesperson added that if the local authorities honor the detainer, the agency will hold Sitzlak accountable for the immigration violation and place him into removal proceedings. ICE said on background that the agency lodges immigration detainers against illegal aliens who have been arrested for criminal activity and taken into custody by state or local law enforcement. And immigration detainers are a request from ICE to state or local law enforcement agencies to notify ICE as soon as possible before removal of an alien is released from custody. The detainers are requests from state, local law enforcement agencies to maintain custody of the immigrant for a period of not to exceed 48 hours behind the time the individual would otherwise be released from criminal custody, allowing ICE to assume custody for removal purposes. Seattle, King County, and Washington are so-called sanctuary jurisdictions. It's unclear if the detainer will be honored. ICE explained that detainers are critical public safety tools because they focus enforcement resources on illegal immigrants who have been arrested for criminal activity, such as homicide, armed robbery, assault, sexual assault against women and children, and other egregious crimes. Detainers increase the safety of all parties involved, such as ICE officers, law enforcement officials, the removal alien, and the public, because it allows ICE to arrest these individuals in a secure and controlled custodial setting, as opposed to at large, where the criminal legal alien can continue to harm the community in which they have otherwise been released. Additionally, detainers can conserve scarce government resources by allowing ICE to take criminal aliens into custody directly rather than expending resources locating at-large aliens. According to court documents and surveillance footage from the Metro bus number 7001, the nearby bus businesses, the confrontation in question began shortly after Sitzlak boarded the bus, Route 70 bus, at 2:49 a.m. He sat near the front of the bus. Isn't his last name Bastidas? Why do you call him Sitzlak? And he'd been arguing with driver Sean Yim over an open window. When Yim reopened the window to prevent fogging, he protested that he was cold and made disparaging remarks about the driver. Yim eventually told him that he needed to exit the bus. Okay, and then Sitzlak approached Yim and pepper sprayed him in the face before stepping off the bus. Yim followed but stumbled as he exited when the suspect continued spraying him at close range. Surveillance footage shows Sitzlak delivering a forceful kick to Yim as he fell to the ground. The two men briefly disappeared from view, but additional cameras captured Yim trailing Sitzlak north along University Way. Video from multiple businesses showed that in a Wells Fargo parking lot, Sitzlak abruptly turned and ran towards Yim. A physical struggle followed, and Yim collapsed. Footage shows Sitzlak standing over the driver and pushing him back down as he attempted to rise. Another struggle occurred on the ground before Sitzlak walked away towards University Way Northeast. A witness identified as DTJ. Oh, DJT is Donald J. Trump. So Donald J. Trump was there. He entered the camera's view. He found Yim unresponsive against the Wells Fargo building. And then DJT can be heard saying, "Oh my God, he's on the floor. I think he's dead." Seattle homicide detectives recovered a knife sheath on the sidewalk and a blood-covered fixed-blade knife in a nearby garbage can. Police also identified another witness who had seen the altercation on the bus and called 911 when Yim was initially pepper sprayed. Donald J. Trump told investigators that he recognized Sitzlak from the Share Wheel Tent City No. 3 shelter. According to DJT, Sitzlak had previously mentioned that he'd been involved in disputes at other homeless encampments and then left shortly after arriving. Seattle police arrested Sitzlak after a manhunt in December when officers discovered him sleeping in the back of another Metro bus. A judge later found probable cause for murder in the second degree with a deadly weapon and assault in the third degree. Oh, what do you got to do to get first degree murder in Seattle? Oh, Joe says, it says DTJ. Damn Tijuana? Damn TJ? DTJ? Darn Tijuana? Seattle's going to outdo Portlandia. My grandfather was a Parker, and my grandma was a Kilo. Pure blood Texan here. I'll have to look into it. Okay. On December 21st, Metro Bus flagged. Going to say anything, or is just going to be non-saying anything? Oh, it's Donald Trump Jr. Oh, DTJ, Donald Trump Jr. Okay.
Can you guys move this way for us, please? Get out of the way. Hey, you with the one with the green hoodie looking at us. Come over here with your hands up. You're not free to go.
You're not free to go. Come over here. Come here. Get over here. Come on. Get.
Hey, drive your bags right there.
Stop.
Turn around for me. Walk backwards slowly towards me. Put your hands behind your back. Thank you.
Watch your step.
Wow. So that's a Venezuelan. That's a Venezuelan. All right. Now the guitars, Parker Guitars went out of business, and now they're even more sought after. This is communist thought. You should look into the Sons of the Republic. Well, a suspect was then released after getting a sandwich and an apology at the jail. Surprised they released that video. Yeah, I'm surprised they did too. So, Sitzlax has an extensive criminal history for violent offenses. In 2023, he was arrested on felony homicide charges and a fatal stabbing of his roommate. Though prosecutors found probable cause, Seattle homicide detectives failed to file charging decision, resulting in Sitzlax's release after 24 hours. Wow. Despite Sitzlax's face being displayed across media during the manhunt, Superior County Judge Dave Keenan ruled at a hearing in January that the media couldn't show Sitzlax's face. Oh. Can't show his face. Oh. Oh, don't show the guy's face because people will know what he looks like then, the murderer. Court granted, his lawyers asked the court to prohibit the media from filming his face. Wow, and they granted it. Wow. The killing occurred less than 48 hours after Metro announced the closure of several bus stops in the Chinatown district. Well, isn't that racist to call it Chinatown? 24 equals 72, whatever that means. And more than 80% of the passenger assaults on Seattle's light rail have risen by over... transit driver. Since 2023, attacks on transit drivers have increased more than 80%. Passenger assaults have risen by 53%. That's a lot of attacks. Well, folks, we'll go in 2.5 hours. Released after 72 hours. You said 24 hours. I don't know. I don't know. My brain is off today. Anyway, anybody live? Okay. All right. Well, I want to thank everybody for being here tonight. We did not hit the goal, so I'm going to call it a night, and we'll try to get on Monday night, and we'll see how it works out. I want to thank you all. But the coffee is fresh, and there is a tower. I don't know what that means. Oh, in Seattle. Yep. Thanks, Bella and Jim. I'll see you guys later. Rich says, only the white folks get charged here in Western Washington. Disgusting. That's horrible. That's horrible. That's racism. That's racism. I can't believe we came up $13 short, but we did. That is what it is. I want to thank you all. I want to invite you to come on back Monday night for Jim to tell you the news.